What's up, guys? My name is Dave, and today I'm going to show you how to play New Minglewood Blues in honor of our fallen hero, Bob Weir. I was like you guys. I was totally saddened by the news, and yeah, so sad. I'm glad to say I saw him play. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago with Dead and Company in the Bay Area. I live in Northern California, and it was at Shoreline. They did many shows over the years at the Dead did and Dead and Company. So anyhow, I wanted to just throw something, just to put a little something out, because he meant a lot to me, and I'm sure many of you. And I got a funny little story I'll kind of throw in later. But anyhow, New Minglewood Blues, I got queued up. Cornell, and I just wanted to, we'll break down the bass line and talk about it a little bit. But I just really wanted to kind of, in our hearts and stuff. Like I say, it's just a sad day, and I wanted to give it. And I probably plan on doing some Bob, maybe a little tribute line here, and we can follow through on some other songs like Cassidy. And I was listening to "Feel Like a Stranger," and God damn, what was the other one too? Just like lovely and totally. It's a different line altogether. So New Minglewood Blues. Cornell 77, R.I.P. Bob Weir. Let's go. Show opener, by the way. Cornell, legendary show. Here we go. Very simple, very blues. So we're just going to E to A. You'll start at an A, G to E. And a lot of times you'll E to the B. This is the whole song, folks. B, B. So, as you can see, very kind of basic, very repetitive. The key and the one like note you never want to miss. So we're A, G, E, 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 A. Sorry, G, G, and then I just. And that right there, that A, is the one that you wanna stick every time. You want to stick at all of them, obviously, but the bum 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 bum. That just because that's the one, But this can be like, and then you can do this. So this is a big part of this song, and like I say, it's a blues. It's very repetitive, and really, even Phil, who's known to, he'll kind of dance around and do a lot of stuff. He does some little stuff, but I don't even want to get into it. He keeps it really kind of basic, and like it's like blues bass. You're really, your job is to like really be foundational and kind of stay out of the way. You almost he kind of hides in the mix a little bit, because it's big old ballsy blues licks, guitar licks, and the voice. Like I remember this song caught me early when I was younger. When it's like stealing women from their man, and then the preacher man calls me a sinner, but his little girl calls me a saint. Shit like that, it was just like, God damn, it's that's why I like these old blues tunes. They're a little gritty, they're a little naughty, you know what I mean? And they're fun. And the way Bob sang it was really cool, and it really, I really got drawn to it. But back to the bass line, it's that one though. I was born in the desert, raised in a lion's den. And then, so as far as like how to expand, you wouldn't really expand too much. Like I keep it real basic, especially this part. And that's just I might, dead note it, and that's just, I don't know. Like I say again, my dead note sometimes it's like a nervous tick. You overdo it sometimes, but whatever. Bum bum. So you can either hold it low, hold your E around here, or you go through it again. And then you bring it up to this E here. And that's a whole thing, because Phil does this all the time. And it's just a fun thing to know in other jams, because you might be even in a different key. And that's why I always talk about the three positions. So we're doing it in E, and so you have your E here, you have your E here, and then you have your E here. 12th fret, 12, 14, 14. And so you need to know, because sometimes you might want to like that, but it's a lot of times it's cool to, instead of, they're the same notes, but especially when you're playing it live through a bass rig and stuff, those approaches, and then, So, I was born in a desert, raised in a lion's den. I was born. And then the change is always to the B. And I mean, my number one occupation, stealing women from their man. You're not a wanted man in Texas, But like I say, that first bump, 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 really focus on that, and that'll set the rest of that bar or that measure in motion. By nailing that, because what'll happen, and the reason I bring this up is when sometimes you do this stuff. Sorry, I'm a little hot, maybe. You'll get in some fancy lick, and then it's like, oh, and then you got to go back to the one, right? And you don't want to do that. You want to be able to play some tasty fill without really thinking too much about it, because all you're thinking about is I'm telling you, let's keep going. Whoops. See, I kind of slipped that one a little bit. Yeah! Woo! What a smoking opener to just an absolutely legendary show. Some say it was like the best show, you know, and that's how I found out about it. It was just, oh, this is the number one show. So, yeah, what a bummer, man. I wish I had something more eloquent to say. I do have a little story, though. So Bob Weir, I got into the Grateful Dead. I was a Jerry Garcia fan first. As young, you know, I don't know, 15, 16 or something when I started listening, got exposed to him. Got way into Jerry Garcia, and I got into his old bluegrass stuff and his banjo picking days and Old and in the Way, and which John Conn is a part of too, and everything. And then I get into the Grateful Dead. So before I was a Phil Lesh fan or a Bob Weir fan or everything, so and whatever. So I'm getting into it. Well, early on, I saw there's a famous picture of Bob Weir, and he's flipping off the camera, and he's kind of got this face. And I remember young me, and I'm looking at him like, God, this guy looks like a dick, you know. And it was funny because it was just like, yeah, no, I love the music and everything. The guy's kind of a dick, you know, whatever. Like just from one photograph. This is you know, youth. And so whatever. So time goes on, and you know, this is a long time ago, and it was maybe 10. Whenever the Dead and Company started, kind of getting going. I remember, I think I saw, and then too by then YouTube. This is early days. This is before YouTube, social, any of that shit. And I see an interview with Bob with like O'Teal Burbridge or whatever, and so now he's got his whiskers and his whole thing, and I was just like, oh man, because as soon as you hear him talk, he's kind of got that well, you know, he just seems like such a cool, down to earth guy who's seen a lot of shit, you know, but great. And yeah, so I wanted to share that. It was funny. So now, you know, in the news of his passing, and I was like, oh man, that really does hit me. And then it made me think of that time, like, God, I thought he was a dick for like 10 years. And, but at any rate, so yeah, this has triggered a little bit of, you know, I'm going to dig into some Bob stuff. Because it's very more like kind of guitar oriented and stuff. And this bass line, back to the basics, it's blues bass. And blues bass is usually, yeah, like I say, it's kind of locked in, and you kind of stay out of the way. So you keep it going. That's where you can kind of embellish a little bit. you know? Or stuff like that. And that's good to know, and that's fun to practice. This is an easy song to play. No whiteboard. No, this is kind of off the cuff, but I really thought, that it was worthy of a little bit of a how do you do? And so rest in peace, Bob Weir, man. We love you, buddy. And I'm gonna maybe allow his passing to kind of, maybe I'm gonna explore some of this music that I normally probably wouldn't have, but I definitely have enjoyed. I've been listening to it all day. I was working around the house and driving. I was driving a lot, haul and stuff, and listening to these songs I haven't listened to in years. It's like, God damn! And the jams are great. Cassidy gets real nasty, and or just gets trippy. So I'm looking forward to that, and like I say, peace to him and his family. So till we meet again, my friends. Peace.